Welcome to another edition of Our City. I hope all of you have handled the snowstorm extremely well. All of our roads are open and serviceable. If there's any problems, you can call our Public Works Department at 820-4100 or the Public Information Office at 820-4124 or my office at 820-4170, and we'll respond as quickly as possible. During the snowstorm, there were some power outages in the first ward of our city, near Clark Place and Port Avenue and 1st and 2nd Street. PSE&G responded very quickly, and within an hour, all of the power was restored. And we thank those residents of our city for their patience during that time. And a few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. Tomorrow is Tuesday, February 12th. Please note that City Hall will be closed in observance of the birthday of our 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. On Friday, February 15th at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to host a luncheon for the Elizabeth High School football team. As we know, the football team, the Minutemen as they're known, were state champions this year in beating Piscataway in the state final at Kane University. It was a great game. It came down to the last couple of plays when Elizabeth was able to make a great drive with less than a minute left to score the winning touchdown. It's going to be held on the 3rd floor in City Hall, and I look forward to welcoming the state champions to my office. Later that day in the afternoon, I'm going to attend the grand opening of the Wellness Studio, a ribbon-cutting ceremony. It will be located at 216 3rd Street. And City Hall will also be closed next Monday, February 18th, in honor of our first president's birthday, George Washington, also known as President's Day. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 820-4124. Now, one of the things that happens this time of year is everyone has to get ready and fill out their income taxes. And here in the city of Elizabeth, we have a program where we have volunteers that work at our senior centers and our library and other locations that help residents fill out their income tax. It was started a couple of years ago by Miss Denise Perry of the IRS and volunteers, and Denise is moving on, so we wish her well, and I'm pleased to be joined by her able replacement, Miss Corsetta Wilson. Miss Wilson, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Corsetta, Denise, were you under her tutelage, or how does this work?
Yes, I was, and I continue to be until she is no longer with us.
Okay. Now, tell us a little about yourself, Corsetta. You've been with the IRS a while as well, right?
Yes, I've been with the IRS for 23 years. Next month makes 23 years. I've worked in various functions in the IRS. I've dealt with the tax system pretty much throughout my career, except for early on. Administering the taxes, applying the tax law, and now I'm in this aspect of it where I help with this program.
Now, are you born and bred New Jerseyan, or are you transplant, or what's going on?
I am a transplant. I am a native of New York, which is just across the river.
That's just across.
Yes.
So you're a northerner. You're up. Yeah.
Yes.
You went to school in New York?
Yes, I did. I attended the public school system there.
In the city?
In one of the boroughs, the five boroughs, yes,
okay.
in Brooklyn. And had my college degree as well in the city of Manhattan.
Good. You still live there, or you?
No, I'm here. I'm a
you're
resident
in New Jersey.
of New Jersey,
you
yes.
crossed the
Union
river.
County as well.
Oh, Union County.
Yes.
Good. Well, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
And you've been working on this program for a while, or is this going to be new for your
Yeah,
leadership?
out of the 23 years I've been dealing with this program, 10 throughout, not continuously or consecutively, but about 10 years of my career I've been involved in the VITA program in one aspect or another.
And tell us what the VITA program is, first of all, the initials. What do they stand for, though?
It stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. It's a free program that the IRS has sponsored that provides the free tax service to low to moderate income residents of the United States.
And this is done throughout the nation?
Yes, it is.
And do all the cities participate, or you try to do it in regions? How does the IRS focus?
There is VITA presence in the 23 counties of New Jersey.
21
specifically,
counties.
21, I'm sorry.
That's
21
right.
counties.
We can
of
tell
New
you're from
Jersey.
New York.
Yes. We pretty much try to have a presence, especially where the greatest need is. Okay. Throughout the state of New Jersey and other states as well.
So that's probably the focus nationwide, is making sure where the need is, the VITA program is set up.
Yes, sir.
Now you rely on, first of all, how long has the VITA program existed?
The VITA program has existed since 1969, and it was a part of the Tax Reform Act So that's 44 years of existence this year.
And you've helped hundreds of thousands of people through that time, if not millions, right?
Millions, absolutely. Yeah. We bring millions of dollars back into the community through various credits and refund that translates into refunds.
Now, the Earned Income Tax Credit is something that if these folks didn't come to you or the staff, they may not even know anything about it.
Absolutely. So that's part of what we do as well. We want to educate the public that the Earned Income Tax Credit, or EIC, is available to them if they make a certain amount of income, whether they have 0 children or 3 children, up to 3 children or more.
You can't have more than 3 children taking advantage of the Earned Income Tax Program?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you know how long we're doing this program in Elizabeth? I'm thinking 10 years. I don't know.
It's since 2001. It's been in existence.
So it is 12 years, yeah. Mm-hmm. Denise was the first person, and then she left for a while, and they brought in this woman from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And they let her go, and they brought Denise back. No, I'm only kidding.
No, she still works with us. We have different areas that we're assigned to.
But she's not here, and is she back in Puerto Rico?
No, she still works in Jersey. She's still part of our staff. Yes.
Oh, okay. So she stayed up here. She hated the weather here. I remember meeting her.
She still hates the weather here.
I remember meeting her a couple of years ago. She hated the weather.
Yes.
So the program has been available now in the city of Elizabeth for 12 years, and here in the city of Elizabeth, is it only open to Elizabeth residents?
No, it's not. It's open to other residents. You have people that may work in Elizabeth but not live in Elizabeth, and they can participate and come get their taxes done. They can also volunteer as well.
And how do we get the volunteers?
We solicit them through irs.gov. Your office also has a link where they can volunteer and show interest, or any of the organizations they may visit, they can express interest, and their information is taken and forwarded to us or your agency.
Now, if the person comes in to have their taxes done, do they get charged in any way?
No, there's no fee for this service. It's completely free. You walk in, or you can make appointments depending on how the site is run.
And the volunteers, how do we find them volunteers? They just come, the volunteers that come, they call us basically, right? The volunteers that we go get that are doing the taxes.
Yeah, we can, we advertise for them on websites and different things of that nature. If they express interest, they go through the training, they become certified, and we can place them at the site.
And the volunteers, when they do their work, they get questions sometimes. They don't know who do they call. They call you?
They would refer to their reference material, the guidance book, or their lead that's at that site. If it can't be resolved on that level, then the lead would reach out to.
So, Corsetta, there's a training process here that you supervise and make sure these people are trained properly.
If you're assigned to that particular location, as far as a relationship manager, which is what I am, we can do that training, or the partner themselves does the training. But it's facilitated where the volunteer is given the training that they need to feel comfortable, they become certified, and they can provide their service at the site.
Okay, and where are the sites located in the city of Elizabeth this year?
You have the Family Success Center, the Liberty Square Senior Center, and the Stephen Sampson Senior Center, and as well the Elizabeth Public Library.
So we have 4 locations in Elizabeth.
In Elizabeth, yes.
And now, do you need how many volunteers do we have?
Currently there are 25, but we're striving for more. Volunteer opportunities are still available, so if someone out there is still interested, we are, as long as we can certify you, we do need more assistance.
So these volunteers have all been certified, they've all gone through a training process.
Yes.
And how many you expect to do? Hundreds?
Yes, the more the better.
Okay.
But yes, we're looking to do hundreds of returns to service.
Do they need an appointment, the folks that come in, or they could come off the street if they know that there's a volunteer there?
It can work both ways. Some sites require appointments and some sites are walk-in. You can call to the specific site to find out what their required form of doing your tax return is, or you can also reach out to 211. They would have that information as well.
Or they can call our public information office at
Yes.
820-4124, and they can find out exactly when the sites are.
Absolutely.
Now, you work with Steve Fernandez in our office, correct?
Yes, I
He helps
do.
coordinate it?
Yes.
He works with the how's he doing?
He's doing very well. I met him. He's a very nice young man, and I look forward to working with him more as we go along.
Now, Corsetta, what other areas did you work in before here in Elizabeth on this program?
I'm currently in Mercer County and Somerset County.
Now, we're better than everybody else, right?
Oh,
See,
everyone is
would-
unique.
See, Denise would have answered, "Of course, you're better than everybody else, Mayor." So
I don't want to make anyone else jealous.
Of course, but nobody else is going to see this but the folks in Elizabeth. So we don't have to worry about the people in Mercer County.
But you're the best I've ever worked with.
There you go. See, now you're getting. See, Denise will be proud of you on that answer. We're going to take a break and come back and deal with some more questions. Please stay with us.
Yes, thank you.
For Corsetta Wilson, I'm Chris Bolwage. Please stay with us. After these messages, we'll talk more about the VITA program here in the city of Elizabeth. Welcome back to our city. I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Corsetta Wilson of the IRS, who handles the VITA program here in our city, which helps our residents throughout the city of Elizabeth get free tax advice and income tax completion of their forms. Now, Corsetta, one of the things we talked about in the beginning of the show was the volunteers. We have about 25 volunteers. Do they come back?
Yes, about 1/3 of the volunteers that you have come back every year.
Okay, and so it's easier if you have them coming back. They don't have to get retrained, right?
Every year you have to certify, but they already have the basic knowledge, so the testing becomes easier each year that they.
Now, we only do the simple forms, right? If you have a complex form, these folks aren't going to be able to do it, right? I mean, if you have a lot of deductions or anything?
If you have $50,000 or less of income, and the complexity is pretty basic. For example, if you have children, you are a wage earner, even self-employed with minimal amount of expenses, about $10,000 worth of expenses, we handle those types of returns. If you have something more complicated, such as casualty loss, we will not be able to assist you on those types of returns. We basically then say you have to go to a paid preparer.
Okay, and the folks that come in and do that, do we recommend paid preparers, or we leave that up to them to find on their own?
No, we're not allowed to
right?
refer to specific paid preparers. They would have to do the diligence in order to find one that they're comfortable with.
You just say, look in a phone book under paid preparers or something along those lines, or Google it, right?
No, we actually have a format or a guide to assist the taxpayers.
Oh, you do?
in
You have them all
choosing
listed
one.
somewhere, right?
You can go to irs.gov and you can do a search on how to choose a preparer.
It's like when the city planning department recommends a lawyer, they'll give out a list of 5 or 6 lawyers and say, go find one, in other words. Similar.
It may not be as detailed as giving you specific preparers, a list of specific preparers, but it gives you information on how to choose one, what to look for.
I see.
Things of that nature.
Okay. Why do you think the VITA program is so successful? I mean, it's continued now for 44 years, and obviously we've done millions around the country. Why is it so successful?
It's very successful because of people like yourself, the dedication and the commitment of partners like you and the volunteers.
So the guy that does our work, Steve Fernandez, he helps market and get the volunteers.
Oh yes, you have a very excellent way of marketing and getting the word out, of getting the volunteers and letting the public know that the service is available.
And like in the beginning of the show, we talked about the residents. How do we know if they're happy?
Oh, they voice that they are very happy with the service they're providing, and they come back each year to get it done. So
do they write letters to the IRS and say, "Hey, thanks a lot"? I mean, who does that, right?
some taxpayers will do that. You'll be
Really?
surprised, and they're not all complaints. They are letters of gratitude.
Yeah, I figure the IRS only gets letters of complaints, right? But they actually get letters of gratitude on this program.
Yes, they're very pleased with the service.
Yeah, because I could imagine senior citizens or somebody with very little family needs something done. They may not know where to go, and especially the Earned Income Tax Credit can get them back some money.
Yes.
What are the rules for the Earned Income Tax Credit? The requirements?
You have to be a U.S. citizen, Social Security card. You can have 1 child, 2, 3, 0 children.
No
and
more than
ranges.
3.
Well, if you have more, you're not going to get credit for anything past that amount.
I see. So you get credit up to the first 3.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. What are the other requirements? That's it right now?
Pretty much that's the basics of it without overwhelming people with all of the
So if you have 4
details.
children or 5 children, you still should apply. You're just going to get the credit for the 3.
Yes.
People may not know that.
Right.
So,
You still will get, you still will get a benefit for if you do have 4 or 5 children, just not as far as the Earned Income Tax Credit is. You have other credits like the Child Tax Credit. That can be up to $1,000 per child. and you get your standard deduction as well as your exemption. So each person listed on your return that you can claim is an exemption amount. So it does translate into dollars at the end.
So some people may think that they don't make a lot of money, so therefore why bother filling out an income tax form? Under the Earned Income Tax Credit, they could actually get money back if they fill it out.
Yes, they can get money back that they didn't know that they were able to get, although they did not make a substantial amount of money in their eyes. It just depends on you can have the situation where someone doesn't have any children and they really made a couple of $1,000s, but they had withholding. They can file just to get back that withholding. And that also can allow them to, or they might be getting the Earned Income Tax Credit for another couple of $100s. Let's say someone that doesn't have any children making a certain amount of money.
Do we run into this a lot?
Oh, yes, we do. People, although we do get the word out, there are still thousands of people who do not hear about the Earned Income Tax Credit. So we want to make sure.
How do we correct that? I mean, I used to have this conversation with Denise all the time, too. It's just really difficult. Is it a language issue, you think?
Sometimes it can be. You have a lot of people who migrate here to the United States, and English is not their first language. So we have different publications in Spanish and Chinese, and we're opening up the languages that we can reprint the information out as well to just help spread the word. But it comes down to community and who we can reach in order to help us get the word out about the credits that are available and that you are supposed to file a return.
Now, if you were just a resident of the United States, do you have to fill out an income tax form?
Yes, residents of the United States have to file tax returns.
So can they claim the Earned Income Tax Credit? You have to be a citizen.
Being a resident and a citizen, well, you have to be a U.S. citizen in order to get the Earned Income Tax Credit. Yes.
But a resident has to fill out an income tax form if they make money.
As well. Yes.
And the VITA program, one of the things we talked about on the break was the future of the VITA program. Is it evolving, and is there new things in the VITA program? What's going on?
Yes, there are a new couple of products that we have, and if you're not able to come to a site physically, there are other alternatives. We have what we call facilitated self-assistance. Some partners have a link where you can go to their website, click on that link, and do the return yourself if you're comfortable enough with going on and getting the assistance, going through the process of doing a return online yourselves. And
would these people have, I guess they have access to a computer, they go to a library if nothing else, if they didn't have one, right?
Yes, if you don't have your own personal library, personal computer, you can go to the library and access it through the library, computers or a friend, family.
And how do those people do? Do they make mistakes? I mean,
if you get stuck or have a question, depending upon the partner, you can call them or go to the site, and at that point to say, I got stuck on this question, can you give me a hand, help me out with it?
So if they're online and they're trying to do it, is there somewhere to go where they can say where the sites are in their vicinity that they could go to?
Yes, as many different websites you can access. The partner itself's website. You can also go, like you have your public phone number to call. We also have irs.gov. You can find out what sites are available in not only the city of Elizabeth as well, any place in New Jersey.
And the thing we talked about at the break was bringing in the New Jersey Coalition. What is that all about?
It's they're working on a project where they want to help educate the public more so on financial education and asset building. A lot of people who not necessarily have the tools or the knowledge in order to start working on their they need more education about their finances. So that's what that program is geared to do, is to help them, give them tools, give them some insight, or point them in the right direction about how to save money, how to open a bank account. Do you want to open a bank account? Things of that nature. If they're eligible for any benefits, how to refer them to the agencies that can give them those benefits.
Do we get people like that coming into these centers, or is that not happening yet?
Yes, that is happening, but we want to make the public more aware. We want to educate them even further. So, and to reach people, just like with the Earned Income Tax Credit, if they're not hearing about it, to let them know these are services available to them.
Ms. Wilson, how many people who actually fill out an income tax form through this service actually come back year in and year out?
There are probably a third, at least a third or more of the people that participate in this program here in this area that do come back.
And they continue to use the service.
Yes, it continues to grow. We service over 3 million throughout this program, the VITA program, over 3 million people.
A year, or just New
Yes.
Jersey? A year.
A year.
A year. And is the online statistics kept separately, or that's all combined to the VITA program?
I'm sorry.
The online statistics kept separately, or is that all combined in that 3 million number, do you think?
We can break it down locally, but that's just to give you an idea. It went from, let's just, years ago, 0 to 3 million. So, you know, and
have you ever do they put systems out of, in other words, say nobody shows up, do they then close it for the following year, or what do they do?
at a particular site, you
Yeah.
mean? We can see if they're, before just flat out closing it, see if could we have marketed differently, join them up with someone else, and just work on how to get that site a functioning site. But if it's not in the right location, we try to move it as well.
So I used to ask Denise this question all the time towards the end. What does the IRS think of this program? I mean, because obviously Denise loved it. So what's the perception of the IRS in this program? They like doing it, or is this a pain in the neck sometimes?
Oh no, this program is we enjoy doing it. It's very viable. It's a valuable service, and we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't a benefit to the people of the residents and the citizens of this state, the country.
Right.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show and explain to the residents about the free service that we have here in the city of Elizabeth under your leadership, and look forward to working with you over the next couple of months.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, and I will look forward to that as well.
Thank you. For Ms. Corsetta Wilson at the IRS, I'm Chris Bolwage, and we'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.